Hey gang, it's your boy Platt, back with another Spirit Series video. We're continuing to work our way through the world of Brandy. Today we're going to focus in on Grappa. I'm going to say most of you out there probably haven't tried Grappa. You may have heard it but haven't tried it. Grappa is a fragrant, grape-based pomace. You need to remember that term, pomace. Brandy of Italian origin. Generally it's bottled between 70 and 120 proof. The term Grappa is a protected EU term, or in the European Union they have certain specifications on what can be called Grappa, and there's three main ones. First and foremost, must be produced in Italy, the Italian parts of Switzerland, and San Marino. Second, it must be pomace-based, or it must be from pomace. Now what pomace is when we pick grapes to produce a wine, a Chardonnay, Merlot, whatever, after we press them, there's still that physical matter. We get the juice out, but there's still the pulp, the skin, the seeds, the stems. That physical matter is called pomace, and the Grappa has to be from pomace. Can't just be from repurposed juice. Third, fermentation and distillation must occur on that pomace. Even though, let's say after fermentation, we got this liquid that has the alcohol, everyone. No, we got to carry all the physical matter to the seeds, the stems, all that comes in too. So it has to have the physical matter with it in the fermentation and distillation process, and no additional water can be added. Quickly, let's go over the process, because that's what really makes Grappa unique compared to other types of brandies. So let's say we're in Italy and we wanted to make Grappa. Well, lucky for us, our next door neighbor Bob makes Prosecco, and he grows grapes for his Prosecco. Well, it's late fall, or it's late summer, early fall, time to harvest. He goes out in the field, picks all these grapes, brings them back, runs them through a machine that takes the stem out, or the stalks out, but still leaves, you know, the physical grape intact. There's still stems, seeds, what have you. Then he takes all these grapes and runs them through an air bladder, or press, that gently presses the grapes, gets the juice out, but doesn't press too hard to extract tannins or what have you. And then that kicks off the fermentation process for the wine. Well, eventually we're going to filter out the physical matter. Generally it's just the juice and a little bit of pulp that makes it to the wine production. The rest of that physical matter gets filtered out, and that is what we're going to use to make our Grappa. Now, by law, the Italian government makes Bob sell his pomace to us. This is their way, or their line of thinking is that keeps bootleg operations kind of out of the process, because Bob is a regulated wine producer. Everything gets regulated that he does, and so if he's selling it to me, vicariously I get regulated too. In the early years of Grappa, the way it was made was the local vineyard owner would have his workers go out, pick the grapes, they'd press them, they would make the wine, and then whatever physical matter left over, well, he didn't care about. A lot of times that got thrown to the pigs, but some of the workers would take that home and make their own Grappa out of it, and those became kind of the bootleggers of Italy. So the Italian government now says, nope, these wineries are going to have to sell this pomace to the licensed Grappa makers. And so that what happened, we buy Bob's pomace, bring it to our distillery, and now we take that pomace and we put it right into the fermentation tank. We don't filter or nothing like that, just put it right in the fermentation tank, cram as much in there, where it kind of again gets another pressing, and we let all that liquid drip, what have you. And again, because we have the skin of the grape, there's still some yeast left over, we kick off fermentation. We let all that ferment for a while, and then when fermentation's done, again, we don't separate the solids out, because it still needs to be Grappa. It's also distilled on the pomace. So we take all that pomace out, put it into the still. Now, because we have physical matter, we have the seeds, the stems, what have you, in that still, we can't use direct fire. That will scorch or burn that stuff. You get funky taste. So you have to use either steam to heat your still, or something called a bain-marie, which is designed in a way where that still sits almost like in a hot water bath, and that's how you would heat up the still, but no direct fire because you don't want to burn the physical matter in there. After distillation, what comes off that still, the liquid that comes off, is grappa. Now, most grappa is unaged, but some of it does make a barrel and actually becomes quite prized. Grappa doesn't necessarily have the same age marks like you would, tequila. There was Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. With Brandy, there's VSOP, what have you. But you might see some age terms on grappa. If you see the term aged itself, that means it's been at least 12 months in a barrel. If you see the term reserve, that means it's been at least 18 months in the barrel. And even though those seem kind of young compared to other spirits, you will see some grappa that spend 15, 20 years in barrels. Now, those are rare and usually really expensive, but you will see that out in the marketplace. Grappa is traditionally drank as an after-dinner drink or digestif. In Italy, they like to actually put a little in their espresso. Espresso is another great after-dinner drink. Besides Italy, grappa is real popular in certain parts of South America. Uruguay, Argentina have large Italian populations, and they're popular there. Uruguay actually has its own variant, something called grappa meal. Grappa meal is grappa with honey added to it, almost in a roundabout way, kind of like a drambuie without the spices though. The particular one we're going to try today is Bellini Grappa di Chianti. 84 proof, 42% alcohol by volume. If the bottle looks familiar, it's because it's the same spirit I had in our very first video about aquavite. Because besides being grappa, this is a aquavite. As you probably learned throughout this spirit series, sometimes one bottle will be two different things. Tequilas or mezcals. Later on, cognac, the whole cognac brandy thing. Well, this is an aquavite, but it's also a grappa. And the title gives us a little clue. Bellini Grappa di Chianti. This is made from pomace from Chianti, the Chianti wine production. Chianti is a classic Italian wine that is based on the Sangiovese grape, but has a couple different grapes in the mix. And so this is a multi-varietal grappa. So that means multiple grapes are in there. You will see single varietal or monovarietal grappas, and they will state on there what that varietal is, whether it's a Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, or what have you. And those are kind of unique in the sense because the grape is one of the big drivers on the actual grape itself, even though it's distilled and has the pomace or whatever. The actual grape is a big player on the final taste. And when you get a Chardonnay grappa or a Pinot Noir grappa, even the flavors you get on the wines that are produced from Chardonnay and Pinot Noir still come through even in the distillate. And so that information is kind of important, when you're looking for grappa. Let's give this grappa a try. Woo! This actually, we were talking about it being Italian moonshine. On the nose, it reminds me of a lot of moonshines I've tried here. A little smoother than some of the moonshines I drink here. Not as sweet as a corn whiskey. Some raw, a moonshine, you get that punch in the tongue. Not sweet like that. There's a little sweetness, but nothing like a corn whiskey when we're talking about kind of raw and aged spirit. Not a lot of complexity on the nose or palate. That being said, it's fairly pleasant. At 84 proof, it's not that harsh. I mean, it's a little warming, but drinking raw spirits, you'll get that. I can see where this is, again, a nice kind of after-dinner drink. especially if you've had one of those big traditional Italian meals. I think this actually probably a nice palate cleanser in a roundabout way. The body on it's light enough. Viscosity's light enough where I think this would be probably a nice after dinner palate cleanser. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.